What's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the brand new 2019 Disney Plus original film, the live-action Lady and the Tramp. The 2019 Lady and the Tramp. This film is an hour and 43 minutes long. It is much longer than the 1955 original cartoon. This film was completely unnecessary. Now, Disney's live-action films are complete hit or miss. You have literally no middle ground when it comes to hit or miss. Aladdin, perfect. Everyone was so worried about it, but it was perfect. Beauty and the Beast, trash. You have Christopher Robin, useless, trash. All right, not fully trash. No, it's useless. No one talks about it. Unnecessary, right? You have Alice in Wonderland, which commercially was wonderful, but I personally don't like it at all. I think it's a weird story that they're trying to bring together. You have, Cinderella? Amazing. Maleficent? Amazing. Maleficent of Mistress of Evil? Amazing. What are the live actions with her? Lion King was amazing. I like the extra little stories they put in. Lion King was really good. CGI-wise, like how it was done, seeing it in the theater I saw, it was really great. We talked about how amazing the film actually was. The immersion of it. We got Mulan coming up soon. That's in February. And then a bunch of other things slated. Lilo and Stitch is coming up. Oh, can't wait. Cannot wait. Very nervous with Stitch's character design, but I can't wait. Stitch. I like my Stitch. So we've had plenty of live-action Disney films, right? Now, what irks me the most about this film is there's a lot of controversy with the 1955 film. The stereotyping with Asians, stereotyping with Mexicans, stereotyping with Italians, stereotyping with Russians. There's a lot of stereotyping in this film. But this film was made in 1955, and that's what they did back then. It's just the Eisenhower bit, right? It's what you did. So then now, like the Siamese song, We Are Siamese, if you please, completely cut out, and a brand new song is brought in, but the cats were only literally in that one scene. But the cats in the original film had many more things to do. The baby has a name, Lulu, in this particular film. But here's the thing. I am the poster child of advocacy for accepting of all, right? I love seeing and prefer seeing couples, male, 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 female, 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 of different backgrounds together. Having two people of the same ethnic background is still a thing. It's common still, but seeing people of diverse backgrounds, of interracial couples, are well prevalent now because they can be now. Back in the day, that was not a thing. No one could marry outside of their race until 1969. That is a fact. Look it up. America is a terrible place when it comes to prejudice and racism, that's for sure. But, yeah, so that wasn't you weren't allowed to marry outside of your race. Legally, you were not allowed to marry outside of your race until 1969. When that, I don't know, bill was passed, when the law was passed or revoked. So to have an interracial married couple with a mixed child in 1909, that's when this film takes place, 1909, makes literally no sense. Absolutely no sense. Aside from the fact that Jim Deere, right? Jim Deere and Darling Deere, I think that's their names, right? Jim and Darling Deere. Jim is referenced as a struggling musician by their Aunt Sarah, by Darling's Aunt Sarah, who's played by the wonderful Yvette Nicole Brown. And I love the actors who played Jim and Darling, respectively. Amazing. Everything that they've done, having Darling sing that one particular Snow song was fantastic, but this is not realistic. It is if they made this film in a 2019 setting, it makes perfect sense. But in a 1909 setting, no. Their house would be burned down. That's not a thing. Their mansion would be burned down. Their Victorian-style mansion would be burned to the ground. And then you had this grand, baby shower of everyone of every race thrown into the mix in 1909. That's not a thing. It didn't happen. If it did happen, it was extremely secretive, but this is a very public couple that was portrayed in this particular film. So, I'm a history buff, and it just did not, it irked me a little bit. Like, if you wanted to do that, make it more modern, put it in 2019, or put it in 2018 when you made the film. Don't keep it at 1909 and have this beautiful couple who don't belong in that time period. They belong in this time period because this is where it's being celebrated. That's where it's being shunned. So it was like hypocrisy, basically. It's an enigma because you're taking out the racist song about Asians, right? But you're putting in a stereotype that was illegal. I don't get it. I mean, if you're just watching this to watch a cute dog movie about rescue dogs that were the dogs in the movie, great. I'm all for animal activism when it comes to buy from a shelter, not from a puppy place. Puppy mills are terrible. Please don't buy a puppy from a puppy mill. Go to your local shelter, adopt a dog. But I don't know, man, like, it really irks me that this was passed, that this was approved, because this is not a thing. It's not a thing. And I think what's even more scary is that there's no actual, I don't know what to say. Like, who approved of this? Because this isn't good. It's not a good thing. You take out one racist thing and you put something else in. It's just weird. It's just very weird. My concern is kids watching this, because a 6-year-old seeing their mixed race parents, seeing a mixed race couple on the screen is great. It's great seeing representation. Representation matters in all forms of community. But if this was a 2019 family having this dog fiasco going on, that makes perfect sense. But the kid watching this, seeing an interracial couple with their interracial parents, but this taking place over 100 years ago, that's not history. That is super fiction. And I think it's dangerous because they're portraying it as real cars and real carriages, and I don't know. I know I'm getting worked up about a kid's movie, but this wasn't necessary. I am sorry. This was not necessary. Like I said, Disney live actions are hit or miss. The last 2 Disney live action films were phenomenal and grossed over $1 billion each. Lion King in July, and then Aladdin back in April, one of those. Amazing. So I have high expectations for Mulan. Let me tell you, high expectations. But for Disney Plus's first original live action remake, we'll let it be the breaking point. I'm totally fine. If Lilo and Stitch goes to just Disney Plus, I'm totally fine with that. I don't need a theatrical release for Lilo and Stitch. I have such high expectations for Lilo and Stitch. It's mind-boggling how high my expectations are, but we'll see. We'll see. I just need everyone to be from Hawaii. That's all I ask. If I see a white main character, I will literally flip a table. I will scream and scream and scream and scream if they cast Lilo, Nani, or David as a white person. I will literally flip a mother effing table. The table shall be flipped, and I will be cursing. Literal curse words will be coming out of my mouth if that is the case. I'm just saying. And that's all I'll say to that. Did you guys watch the new 2019 Lady and the Tramp? What did you think of the new 2019 Lady and the Tramp? Let's discuss it, shall we? Mucho mahalo.